Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Toku Portal podcast, Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger. We didn't forget a week. I swear to God, we didn't forget.
Well, welcome to the podcast that we do every week. The podcast that we set a specific time and day to do every single week.
So I'm gonna take a good amount of fault on this because I was ready, I was in chat, and I was waiting. I didn't say anything because I wanted to go to bed. So because you were late, I'm like, I'll wait a half hour, and then I was tired as hell last week, and then I forgot to reschedule it.
I completely forgot about doing it, period. I remembered yesterday.
And then almost forgot today.
uh,
But this is for episode 31 and 32.
yeah, we're gonna
Thank
catch
God
up.
Thank God there's not much to cover in
Yeah,
31.
the consolation is that there isn't much to 31, so it would have been 10 minutes of talking about the episode and 40 minutes of talking about Kamen Rider.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And I apologize to everybody. My dinner got done right before this, so I'm going to be eating it during the podcast.
That's great for people who love to hear the sound of food being chewed.
I mean, it is a whole thing.
Yeah, I used to eat during the
Weirdos.
podcast back when we started because I didn't have time to eat beforehand.
Right. At least it's not spaghetti.
Which is what I used to eat during the podcast.
I know, that's kind of why I said it.
Okay. So episode 31. We got Dairy World. With special attack, Random Milk. And I choose to believe it's not random as in it came out of nowhere. No, I choose to believe it's random as in you will never know which animal that milk came from. That could be cow milk or that could be goat milk you just got drenched in and you will never know.
And, that's fair and also disturbing.
You will never know. So, if you're like the rest of us and you're wondering what milk, what? Well, it's acting as a whiteout, and so everything is getting whited out. So clothes are all becoming bland, buildings are losing their colors, uh, data on computer is all getting whited out, so you can't read it.
Why didn't they just make him Whiteout World? I mean, they literally have, the copier.
Yeah,
Just
seems like that would have been the smart thing.
they just wanted to make the fucking cow joke again.
So this does cause problems for things such as traffic lights are also getting whited out, so you can't tell what color the light is. And apparently, people don't know what a three-way intersection is.
And that's kind of sad considering the fact that I'm going to assume Japan has at least taught people how to do things in case the power goes out, like they do for us. Turns into if it's an intersection with a light and the power goes out, it works as a stop sign.
Like,
These accidents should not have happened.
yeah.
And like I will admit, like the initial reaction to this was kind of before they knew what was going on. They're like, "Oh, look, this is all cute. It's nice to see, people drying their whites." And then, "Oh, look, the kids look cute. They're all matching."
And then suddenly it starts to become creepy as they see these people's clothes like losing. It's like, wait a second.
And the sad thing is that isn't some of the worst CG we've seen in this show.
No, that comes later.
God damn.
Oh. So, the real conflict for the episode doesn't come from Dairy World because he's a pushover, and the Zenkaigers could defeat him in 2 minutes if they could get their hands on him. They can't.
They quite literally did in the end.
Yeah, they can't though because Kaiser is acting as a bodyguard for the worlds. So they have to deal with him first. And Kaido is pissed because he was his parents' design, and now he's being used for evil, and that's not okay.
I like Kaiser's response. What do you want me to do about it? This has nothing to do with me. Like, the idea for Kaiser's is fantastic. Like, because he's literally just an evil version of Kaito. Like, his entire mentality is based on Kaito. And it's very obvious. And it's awesome.
Oh, one of the people in the car accident was a Kikai Noid. So maybe he didn't know what a three-way intersection is.
That's fair. I can accept that. If it weren't for the fact that they've been part of this world for over a year.
Listen. Just because he got his license here and had to go through driver's ed.
Or, I mean, maybe that carried over from Kikatopia.
I doubt
he had a license there, and
Japan, no, never.
The most stringent road regulations I've seen.
You learn how to do it our way.
Or you don't do it at all.
Stacy gets a little chat with Kaiser, or Stacy, kind of was like, hey, when those guys are in a pinch, that's when they're at their strongest, and Kaiser gets excited, like, oh, that sounds like fun.
Right, like I said, it's like his mentality 100% is Kaito.
And then Zox shows up to just challenge Kaiser one-on-one, like, you know what, this guy's a problem, let's just deal with it now.
Deal with him now and be done with it.
In what I'm sure is a much better fight than what we get to see from the few clips.
That is a fight I wish they'd focused on.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to see this episode.
Like, don't... Especially considering the fact that this is still the point where you're supposed to be showing off Kaiser.
Right?
And instead we get, all the fuck about with Dairy World. Though at least we do get that good joke of, okay, Kaiser, come save me.
Busy fighting Zox.
Kaiser.
Oh, this is awkward. Because Sechan is also a computer, he is also being whited out and is therefore losing his data, which is his memory. So he even forgets who Kaito is. So Kaito is hurt by this because he's already lost his parents and now he's going to lose his best friend from since childhood. And
so if my memory serves me correct, haven't we already gone through a similar situation with Sechan?
Have we?
Not the losing of memory, but the whole, Kaito losing him.
Have we?
I could have swore they made us feel sad about the bird before now.
There was that flashback episode where Sechan was captured and traveling through time, but that didn't really focus on Kaito.
Right. I could have swore there was one episode previously. I may be wrong, but again,
maybe they
leave
did.
It to Toei. Leave it to Toei to find a way to make us feel sad about inanimate objects. Technically inanimate objects. Because by that point, Sechan was an inanimate object and it was sad.
So yeah, Kaito gets to use his new toy, the big fuck-off gun he stole from a geyser, to beat Dairy World, and summons his own mock Sentai team.
It's nice to see him use it, and it's nice to see the suits again.
Yeah.
especially given what we get in the next episode, because they really tried to hammer something home on that one.
Also, I was wrong. This was not a team of animal martial artists. These were just animal themed Sentai members. Uh, and
Yeah, because the martial artists get used
if
in
you're,
32.
yeah, the martial artists are next episode. Um, so yeah, if you are, how's your Sentai history, Vashi?
Not well.
Do
To a
you
point, it's good.
what? Okay, what was significant about the team that he summoned? Do you know?
What was the team again?
It was Duo Elephant, Change Mermaid. Hold on a second. Is it Red Lion? Yeah, Red Lion and uh, Jet Swallow. What was the yellow one? Whatever, yellow one from Jetman.
I have no idea.
It's the colors: red, blue, yellow, green. Those were the colors of the members of Dengekitai Jack, which Big One later joined. And the Zenkaiser suit is inspired by Big One.
That makes a lot of sense. And yeah, that makes a lot of sense considering they do the same thing this episode.
Yeah, that's the point.
That makes that's fucking hilarious.
that
I would have never made that connection.
uh, uh, it took me a minute to think about it too. I was like, there's something about this team. It's not just that they're common colors. No, there's something about them, and I got there.
That's kind of awesome. Like it's those type of nods and throwbacks that I enjoy for a series that's an anniversary series that's not trying to always overly harp on the old stuff.
Like, no, here's a throwback to the inspiration for this suit.
Like, and it's aside from the one that happened in 32, they're subtle. Like I like the subtle nods, the ones that if you're not paying attention, you could miss, or
Right.
if you didn't know.
Uh, and so the rest of the team, after having taken care of the grunts, join in for the big finisher. Except they're on a narrow walkway, and so there's not really much room to like do the V formation. So they kind of have to just line up.
I was not
This,
expecting that.
this show, like, it has fun. It has fun.
I still love the thing is like they all get lined up and then they all stick their head out.
Zenkai, Zenkai, full power buster.
I'm not a fan of the effect. I'm not. I don't like the giant Zenkaiger head, but it's better than what we get for the mech finisher.
So, with Seichon restored, he reveals Kaito his new findings that the gun can turn into a mech itself, a jet. They defeat the big version of Dara World. No one cares because Ijirode has his new toys to deploy, the new Kudai tests. Uh, they're basically the same, but like bigger with wireframes.
So in other words, EJ Verda has finally gotten around to watching Tron. As soon as I saw him, that's all I could think of is like, Jesus Christ, you watched Tron.
So, oh no, how are they going to deal with this new threat? And then, no one has that concern because Sechan is already on. He's like, hey, you can come.
Hey, do the thing. Do the thing.
You can all combine together with this new mech. All 5 of them.
Am I the only one who was initially disappointed that the rest of the Zenkaigers were not inside the mech?
They were.
No, I meant like actually.
Their
For
bodies,
a
they're
split second, yes, I understand that their bodies are the mech. I expected the standard mech cockpit. I don't know why I expected that, but I was a little disappointed we didn't get it. Then they ran with the joke, and I'm like, this is okay.
and now 31 episodes in, we reached the point that most Sentai teams start at.
I know.
This was the original idea for the Zenkaigers that Kaido's parents had. This was their vision, and now it's finally realized.
Like, and this is a premise that I actually enjoy about this show is they're like they're not out of the gate with all the information they needed. There's, because they don't have that person who created the power. There's
There
no
to tell
Zordon.
them
There's no,
everything. Yeah, no.
yeah, and Seichen doesn't have access to all of the information, so they're learning as they go.
These blueprints were like buried deep in the hard drive and encrypted.
Like it is a fantastic way to do this story. Because again, everybody like you go back and you watch through the first couple of episodes. It's 100. They 100% learn their powers as they go. Like they didn't find out about the combining until Kaito decided he wanted to try and turn giant and found out he couldn't.
Right. They're just kind of figuring it out as they go.
Like it's fantastic.
Sengoku Zenkai combine.
So can we talk about the finisher?
Okay, go ahead and talk about the finisher.
Okay. So this has been a running joke with a lot of the anniversary movies of the phrase ends up getting used at some point during the pitch meeting of just throw all the mechs at them. The finisher quite literally is them throwing mechs at them.
Like
it's not the standard throw the mechs at them. Everybody summons a mech and
no, this is like projections of past mechs get called to the field and just charge straight into the monster.
To me it looks weird because the reason why I say throwing mechs at people is because there's no animation. So if you were literally to place the toy figure in place of each one, it literally looks like somebody's just chucking the figures at another person. It's hilarious.
He does dinosaurs and it summons the past red Tyrannosaurus, but it only does 3 of them.
Yeah, it didn't do it didn't do the original, did it? Either that or it looked really weird in CG.
See, they all looked the same to me. Unless I paused it and really stared at them, I don't think I could figure out which one was which.
I know I only recognized 2 offhand. That was Tiramigo and Gabachira. And then there's a third one that looks like it's red and silver, but it's not shaped right. It looks really weird in CG if that was supposed to be the original Tyrannosaurus.
Alright, I got the episode playing. He's about to summon them. I'm going to pause it and take a look. Let's see here. God. It's so hard to look at. Okay. Okay, that is Gabutira because he's got the thing in his mouth, the battery.
Yeah.
Is that one Tiramigo? I think that one's Tiramigo. I think that those are his feet. Oh yeah, he's got the drills on him. That's Tiramigo. And then the third one, is that Tyrannosaurus? I need to see his tail.
Have fun with that.
God, hold on. Oh, this is impossible.
Yeah, like just that for whatever reason, the CG during that for that particular one is horrid. It's like
I
they wanted all three mechs to have the kind of the similar style, which
right.
Gabuchir and Tyramigo both have. But Tyrannosaurus is a very upright mech. So it not being upright is weird
I need.
if
Let
it
me
is.
just. I need to like pull this up.
See if it's on fandom.
No. I need to pull up what the original mechs looked like. So, uh, Jew Ranger. Uh, let's see here. Daijujin. Guardian Beast, Tyrannosaurus. Okay. God, it's been so long since I've seen that. Uh, and then Abba Ranger.
That might have been the third one.
It might have been. I was trying to look at its tail to see if it had like the diamond pattern. Yeah, the third one. Tyrannosaurus has more like a blocky pattern to it. Doesn't have much going on with the shoulders. Uh,
Oh, that's interesting. I'm gonna say it's Abba Ranger.
let's see here. Buckaroo Tyrannosaurus.
So
Did I pause on the wrong one here?
here's the reason why I'm saying that.
I think it might be Abba Ranger too. I just can't get a good enough look to prove it.
The Zenroku Zenkai canon is voiced by Banjo Ginga, who previously voiced Bakaru Bakarosaurus. So the voice of it is literally Abba Ranger. So it would make sense that they would use Abba Red.
It might be. Yeah, it's God. I cannot tell the difference in that scene. Like I tried. I tried. I can't.
Like I said, some of the CGI is a mess.
Maybe they didn't. Maybe it is. They didn't include the original Tyrannosaurus because you already have Juran.
Right. Um.
That would
So
be
here,
the logical explanation.
so here are some notes. The fact that its jet form is called Zenroku Eagle is most likely a reference to Eagle from Go Ranger, the
Yeah.
organization that Go Ranger was a part of.
Yeah.
Um, do, do, when the final Buster is used
Hmm.
in that particular episode, the background behind a hit monster, or when it finishes it, the background behind the monster is Cape Inubo, which is iconically used by Toei in opening the logos. That is the lake.
Yeah, that's the ocean side.
This, yeah, the ocean side with the splash.
All right.
Oh.
So yeah, outside of the weird CGI they decided to go for this, it's just so bizarre seeing like one of the mechs actually move.
Real quick on a side note, the Zenkaiho summons. When Vroon is Engine Speeder, Gokai Galleon, Red Resha, Red Dial Fighter, and Machine Fire.
I only caught
And
Machine Fire in that.
I call it Gokai Galleon. I call it that because they threw got the entire
I,
pirate ship at him.
the only one that I could make out was Mashin Fire.
So, and according to this, it is Judenru Gabutira, Kishidaru Tiramigo, and Juran Tyranno. So yeah, Juran summoned himself.
Huh. Guess it wasn't Aba Ranger after all. So, uh, everyone heads back home to celebrate their victory with a nice family dinner, and they talk about how they combined all their powers together to make that. Not just the five of them, but Setchan as well, because he told them how to do it. It's all of them. Meanwhile, back on Zox's ship, he's a little perplexed. Hakaiser ran away after their fight, but man, Hakaiser acted shockingly like Kaito.
I'm glad it got acknowledged.
Well, so we took it at face value, like, oh yeah, this was the original draft for Zenkaiser, so yeah, he acts like Kaito, that's funny. But now that the show is pointing it out, it becomes suspicious.
So it is either because EJ Rude's gotten a little bit intelligent and based the personality of a Kaiser off the guy who keeps kicking their ass,
Or,
which is possible. He's got enough footage.
let's revisit our initial assumption. Is Hakaiser fully mechanical?
As far as we know, yes.
Is
There's
there
no guarantee of that.
is there any chance that Kaito's dad is in there? Kaito got
That
his
is a different.
personality from his parents.
That is that is much different than the way I was thinking it went.
What were you gonna say?
That he pulled his personality from basically copied his personality. So got Kaito's personality from
From
his
his
dad's
dad.
head
Which would
and
make
put
a
it in
lot
a
of
Kaiser.
sense. Or that's just the personality his parents designed him with because that's their fucking personality.
Right. So
Nijirune can't be bothered to change the work. Uh, I don't think Kaito's dad is in there, but it was an idea that occurred to me, so I wanted to bring it up.
I mean it is very much a possibility. Like it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility for this show.
Because, like, why would Zox be suspicious about this? Like, um, we already know that Kaito's parents have been captured. He already knows that. His mom escaped from Toji Tendo and his dad is still there. Kaito even goes there next episode to look for him. So Zox is in the know about all this. So, uh,
I think this is more if they're just running off at face value, using all the knowledge we have, which should be the same amount of information Zox has. He is be. I think this is more of the how is this a thing? Wait a minute, EJ Rude is the one who has them,
we,
which would make, in theory, would make his dad easier to find because he's already rolled through his lab.
I mean, that maybe, but also, eh. I mean, we already know that Ijirure stole Kaito's parents' designs. I guess it could be the logic of like, oh, they are specifically captured by Ijirure, but like, they still don't know where to look because the parents are hidden underneath the floor.
Right, but at least it would give them a focal point of his lab. And like I said, Zox has already been in his lab. That's when because he stole the world gears from him.
I don't know, but maybe. Uh, So, moving on to episode 32. Uh, this time we have Flip World, who flips people into each other's bodies.
So, welcome to Freaky Friday.
Or is it Monkey Monday?
So, hold on. The actual translation for the episode's name?
Yeah, like, was that just something that...
Yeah, that was... They
okay.
localized it.
Yeah, okay, because I looked at that and went, that does not make any sense. What was the actual?
Number 32 Kai. Sake-sama gets angry. Is that a monkey? That is the actual translation of the episode.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
And just like next week's episode is Great Teacher Demon Master. Instead of whatever we got.
And if you're wondering, well, wait, why does that translation make more sense? It's because the monster resembles a monkey.
Yeah.
So, CC decides to prove himself.
The title is also a palindrome in Japanese.
Oh, that's funny.
See, that makes some of this stuff make more sense.
Being flipped around.
So Kaito and Stacy swapping bodies could be a nod to the fact that Stacy's actor auditioned for Kaito.
I didn't know that.
Which makes sense, something I learned about this episode, which makes me not like part of it.
Which part?
Take a wild guess at what part of... what about this episode irritated me.
Oh, was it who does the roll call later on?
No.
Oh, then I don't know.
The dubbing of the voices.
Oh.
That irritates the hell out of me. Because to be fair, usually they don't do that.
They usually save it for in-suit stuff to help the audience understand, like, these people swapped bodies.
Right.
So that you can keep track of who's who.
So, like when they did it in Gokaiger, Doc and Luca just mimicked each other's voices. And, acting, which is what Stacy and Kaito did in this episode. To the point that the director said it was fantastic and fabulous. The extent to which they mimicked each other to the point of mimicking the way they talk, not just the way they move. So the fact that they didn't use that audio irritates me. Because I want Stacy running around talking like Kaito. I want Stacy doing it.
That would have been good, yeah. I didn't know about that.
Other than that, this episode is golden.
Right. So, Stacy goes to challenge Kaito to try and prove himself. When Flip World shows up, and Stacy tells him, like, hey, Flip World, get out of here before they beat you up. Flip World's like, hey, I got a job to do. And flips Stacy and Kaito for no reason. And then takes off before Stacy can tell him to flip him back.
Like, can you just go a little bit further to Kaito trying to fix that?
That was the part where I messaged you, Kaito is a fucking treasure. Could you tell?
Oh yeah. That was the best scene ever. So Kaito launching full force.
Just full force headbutt Stacy to try and swap them back.
What is Kaito's reason? Every body switching movie ever.
I thought that if we collided hard enough. Stacy decides, well, fuck this, I'm going home. But he can't, because he's stuck in Kaito's body, and Kaito doesn't have access to Toji Tendo. And then Kaito realizes, like, wait, If I'm in your body, I have access to Toji Tendo. Oh, I'm going to Toji Tendo right now.
Didn't say shit, didn't tell nobody, just bounced.
uh, Meanwhile, Stacy, trying to chase after him, falls over down a flight of stairs and falls unconscious. So, whose adventure do we want to talk about first? Kaito's or Stacy's?
Let's talk about Kaito's because it's less depressing.
Okay, so Kaito gets to Toji Tendo, scaring the shit out of the Kudeks who are guarding the gate because he just charges right in. Like, hey, this is Toji Tendo Palace, right? Like, yeah, you know that. Like, oh shit, finally here. And runs around looking for his parents. And shockingly enough, he actually manages to find a jail cell full of Kikai Noids who disrespected Toji Tendo.
Because if you're a totalitarian government, that's what you do.
He tries demanding that the guard free those people, but the guard doesn't take orders from him. And Kaito realizes, like, oh, Stacy doesn't have any authority, does he?
Like, realizing the level at which your primary antagonist is at versus where you thought he was at is...
Stacy has always just been a spoiled brat.
Yeah. Yeah. Just not spoiled the way he wants.
Yeah, just not spoiled in the way that you would normally think. He has been nothing more than Ijirude's lapdog in terms of chain of command.
Speaking of that, I'm actually glad that they pointed that out. At the beginning, when when Stacy looks at him and goes, "What? You don't have any more faith in me?"
Why would I rely solely on you? That's not my objective.
Like, and that's actually brilliant for someone who steals everybody else's ideas. For him to go, you know what? Let's diversify. You know, try multiple ideas. Maybe one of them will hit.
So Kaido uses the Zenkai gun to summon some past Sentai members who are very good with science, particularly the explodey part, to create a diversion to lure the guard away. So the guard, like, hold my beer. I'm gonna go over some brownie points. And then freeze all the Kikai Noids who are imprisoned. But he can't blow his cover, so he tells them that he's Stacy.
And then summons a little help to guide them.
And so those Kikai Noids are now going to think that Stacy is their hero. And I'm sure he's going to be thrilled about that when he finds out.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that. But it was nice seeing Lupin pet Ran Ichigo.
Yeah, considering he's summoned snipers, I was surprised it wasn't Nigo. Green, the sniper.
Yeah, I think it was more just cover fire.
So next, Kaido accidentally stumbles his way into Bakuwa's audience chamber. Where Barashitara is already having a meeting, so he tells him to shut up. And so Kaito, being Kaito, is like, oh, sorry. And he immediately notices, like, wait, hold on. Stacy doesn't comply?
You're not Stacy. Come on.
So yeah, Barashitara is in the middle of reporting. Bakuwa's like, yeah, so turns out, so there are rumors that there's an intruder in the palace. And so Bakuwas is pretty upset about this. Like, hold on, there's an intruder in here? That's not okay. But Gage has a cover. He's like, no, calm down.
Calm down.
Intruder's
He's
right there. You're not really Stacy, are you? So Bakuwas commands Barshitar to capture him, but he's also pounding his fist, causing Barshitar to trip over himself, so he can't.
God, that was funny.
uh, so Kaido has to try and escape, but he doesn't remember the way. Uh, so he gets a little lost, or so he thought. But then Geese
And get
shows,
some help.
yeah, Geese shows up and tells him like, "Oh, you're looking for the gate back home? It's actually just around this corner you're about to pass."
I have expected that 100% to be a trap.
I didn't, because Geach has been playing his own agenda this whole time. We just rarely
Oh,
see
yeah.
it.
It was one of those, like, when it did the pan and showed it, and I'm like, that looks like a trap.
I just
And I'm
find
like,
it.
but then it went, no, it's Geech.
I just find it
That's probably
funny
legit.
that Kaido was technically lost, but he was going the right way the whole time.
Yeah, that.
Like in 2 more seconds, he would have rounded that corner on his own, but Geach was already just there waiting for him. Kaido questions why Geach is helping him, but Geach has already took off.
Because, of course, he has.
And then Barshitar chases Kaido through the portal. So, rewinding a bit. Stacy's story. Oh, wait.
Real quick, before we do. So this makes either this makes Kaito either the second or third or fourth person who has seen Bakuwas.
Seen Bakuwas himself.
Yeah, Bakuwas himself.
Not just
Because
Ben and Toji.
the first one would quite literally be Vroom. That we are
Oh,
100%
you mean the
aware of.
Zenkaigers. I thought you meant humans.
Yes, I meant Zenkaigers themselves.
Okay, so yeah, Kaido...
Guaranteed with him, guaranteed with Kaito, which is why I say second.
Juran is iffy because he tried to join Toji Tendo, didn't he? Or no, he never cared about them? I don't remember.
I don't think he ever cared.
Yeah, he didn't. Maybe he didn't care about them. I think I got that.
But the Majin hasn't. Gowan has it, and then you have the possibility Zox and Flint. But there's no guarantee.
Right, they met E.G. Rude.
At minimum. Bakuwas is very aware of them, but there's no guarantee of whether Zox ran into Bakuwas at all.
And Kaido's reaction to seeing Bakuwas was like, wait, that's Bakuwas?
I'm pretty sure his reaction was, that's a wall.
I was really hoping that would be the reaction. He's just a wall.
What's he gonna do?
Geij is the true villain for sure.
Oh yeah, he has to be.
Also, his name is actually pronounced Gege, which is probably like some kind of laugh. But I'm just gonna keep calling him Geij because it's easier.
I'm gonna call him Geij because that's what everybody else in the show actually calls him.
I swear Bakuwa says Gege.
I've only
or something.
My brain registers Geij.
Like
I may be wrong.
I'm pretty sure it's Gege, but like I'm just gonna keep going with Geij.
I know there's a thing about that.
So, Stacy wakes up at Colorful with the Zenkaigers worried about him because they think he's Kaito. Like, hey, who hurt you? Which world beat you up? And he's so shocked at seeing Yachan that he can't answer. So like, shit, do you think Kaido has amnesia? Oh god, we gotta help him. Alright, Kaido, you just rest. We're gonna save you. We're gonna go take care of this. We're off. And I could feel it. I could feel the acting there of Stacy's reaction of like, what? What is this? Like, they're so nice.
Right. It's the one thing he's not used to.
And that gets explored later when like there's people coming to the shop having their sweets and whatnot. The old man's like trying to open a jar and he can. And Stacy gets the kids are like, "Oh, Kaido, are you okay? You look hurt. You seem so down. You're usually so energetic." And he gets up and he like opens the jar for the old man, and he's like, "Oh, thank you. Even though you're injured right now, you helped me." And Stacy's just standing there like, "Does does he normally have people concerned about him? Is that a thing?" Uh, just this, like, this is culture shock right here. Like, he's never had to deal with people just so nice to him.
Right.
And it gets to a point where he considers, like, if
What happens if I don't have to go back?
if they don't defeat Flip World, I could just, this could be my life. Like, he considers it really hard. Like, he wants this. He likes this. Meanwhile, though, the other Zenkaiger is running to Flint and Zox, who have also been flipped, and they explain to him what the monster is. And they realize, like, wait, could Kaito been acting strange because it wasn't Kaito? So, two of them head back to retrieve him to be like, hey, who are you really? Stacy. Oh, oh shit, fuck.
Like, it was, it was. The Stacy side of this is absolute perfection. Like, given that they've slowly, I mean, this is all, the push for him to switch. Like, they have been expertly dropping this as expertly as I've ever seen it. Because it's drawn out enough that we're wanting it to happen, but it's engaging enough to that we're not upset that it hasn't happened yet.
Right?
Like, it's playing exactly as like, yeah, no, this is exactly how common sense would work with this.
And this plays so well into Stacy's arc of like, they've been hinting at him potentially becoming a good guy. Like, he's been building relationships with people and like forming something of a friendship with Kaito, which he hates that is happening. And so now he's getting a taste of Kaito's life and realizing, like, if my life were this, I could be happy.
Sorry, I'm reading something that I'm going to be bringing up in a minute.
Okay. Should I keep going?
Yeah, keep going. This is shocking.
So, a little ways back, after the podcast, Vashi said, "So you want a spoiler?" Flint turns into to Kaiser, and I went, "What?" And we were confused about this. Like, is this like a movie thing? Is this like a hyper bounty video? What's going on? As it turns
Nope.
out, it's just because Zox and Flint got body swapped, so it's still Zox and Flint's body. And so Flint is,
Not the entire time.
not the entire time. When they defeat the monster, they get swapped back, so Flint is in suit for about 2 seconds before she transforms back. But she gets to enjoy seeing herself transform into the suit and do the dance and stuff, and so she's really excited about that. And the actress had a lot of fun with it.
So did Zox. I had to watch that scene twice just to watch Zox in the background.
It's great.
It is the funniest thing watching him dance around with Ricky and Cutner.
Alright, are you ready for that thing?
Um. Oh no! What I was going to talk, after we'll do it after the.
Okay.
The thing.
So
This isn't paramount to the episode. Just
okay, I thought it was
overall information.
I thought it. Okay, So during the fight is when the real Kaito shows up again with Barashitara. The initial reaction is Stacy. No, wait, that's Kaito, right? And then Kaito does Stacy's transformation and roll call.
I give him credit for that, and
Like,
also I enjoyed the nod to like Nada because the whole Fibern. Oh wait, that's what I'm supposed to do.
all right, he does this. Onko change. Onko no power. Stacy's.
The fucking logo fighting behind him was funny too.
Right, it's like, no, this isn't compatible. uh, we already got to see Stacy 2 Kaito's roll call in an earlier episode, and he's not doing that shit again in front of his dad.
Yeah, he's not doing that in front of Daddy.
And especially not in front of Kaito. Like, he's not doing that where people can see him.
Like he's already doing something he's not supposed to do, so he's already pissing Daddy off once. Doesn't need to add to it.
Barashitara is smart and quickly figures out that they switch bodies.
Which in my head is the only saving grace that is why he's not going to be super pissed off that Stacy went after Flip World.
Like, yeah, the explanation makes sense of like he wants his own fucking body back. That's probably what Barashitara was thinking. I forget, why did he actually decide to take him out? Oh, it was just to piss off Barashitara.
Yeah, yeah. It was just quite literally, I'm going to piss off Daddy.
Despite all his rage, he's still just mad at his dad.
Well, it's a good thing he's not in the U.S. He'd just become a stripper. And that was funnier than you want to admit. Shut up.
So Kaido uses the Zenkai Cannon again, and once again this time it is martial artists, and this time we also get the red, green, blue, yellow lineup again. This time with
real quick, sorry not to cut you off, but because I was busy looking up other stuff, because I started looking up how Gage was pronounced, and I got into his whole other thing.
Yeah.
We have viewers who are commenting.
They're commenting. Oh.
Yes.
What are the comments?
Well, number one, tell King hi.
Is it Drago?
No, it's King.
Oh. Hi, King.
I don't know what half of this stuff is. She did comment that in terms of when they were breaking them out of, when he was breaking the Kikinois out, that she thought it was just cop based.
It was.
Like solely just cop based, not specific.
Oh, well, so they both used guns, and Blue was the sniper. Deca Blue was the sniper of that group. Which is why I was saying, like, oh, they should have brought in Nijo, who was the sniper of his group, and that would have also been a sniper theme.
And that would have also completed the circle for colors.
Yeah, that's why I wanted it to be Nijo instead of Ichijo. Chigo. I've been saying Nijo, but it's Nigo. I just realized that. Oh, that's why I wanted Nigo, sniper.
And yes, King, we miss you.
Yeah. How are you enjoying Zenkaiger? Alright, so while we wait for that response, so yeah, we got martial artists, we got the color lineup again, this time with Stay Caesar instead. But
and then we get a little bit of heavy-handedness in a minute.
They team up to set up Stacy and Kaito's combination attack. Not a planned one. Kaido is just an opportunist that goes for things.
Yes.
But it shows how well they work together.
Um, and then we get my favorite part where they beat us over the head with something. Because boy, did they beat us over the head with it. And King says she's loving Zenkaiger.
It is great.
Um, because we get the next summon,
The next summon.
which it's I forget what they were. I only remember one. Oh no, it was a martial artist.
Yeah, I said the martial arts already.
Um, and they beat us over the head with the fact that Day Caesar and Battle Fever or Battle Japan are the same
Oh.
helmet, to the point where they played the stinger for Battle Japan.
uh, uh, Mech fight time. This time the new Kudai test is the one that absorbs the world gear.
Because of course they can.
Because you gotta up the stakes. Flip World has seen Inception.
I swear to God, it's tough. EJ Ruda has just spending his free time watching American movies.
Uh, and so, yeah, the mech fight is just a whole mess of that. It was
Like
it was interesting in that there was a lot more going on than just the fight, but at the same time, like it was a mess to look at.
it was like for me, it's the overuse of CG. The fact that there is no suit for that.
At least they can be more creative with it.
Right. Like,
It's
and this is the second mech form to not have a suit.
it's still weird to see the mech actually move.
Yeah, it's I don't know, it's just something about it being
Like I'm so used to like the cardboard blocky movements. I like seeing it actually move like a person. It's like uh
I mean, to be fair, we had that same issue with the only difference is this was in suit with um Chiramigo. Like his actual suit form
right.
like was way more nimble than it should have been. But like it's weird, like I don't know, it's just something about them using the Unreal Engine that just it comes off weird. Like it doesn't look finished. Like it doesn't look as polished as it you would expect it to be.
Like it's the most blatant CGI.
That we've gotten in this show, specifically in this show. Because yeah,
Uh,
it's it's worse in Revice for certain things, but a lot of for Revice it's just because they want to do the combination forms,
right.
and then they decided to do it on this week's episode for because apparently they don't have a suit actor who can do tricks on a skateboard, and it looks broken. Like it's very jarring when they start doing the CG.
Uh, so back at Colorful, they scold Kaido a little bit for leaving without telling them first. And then Kaido
Fair.
apologizes that he made it to Toji Tendo but didn't accomplish anything. To which they say, "Don't apologize for that. You probably feel the worst about that of anyone. You made it back. That's
Right.
amazing."
Because to be fair, as of right now, only 4 people have done so. Well, I say that technically 3 of them made it in and escaped, and another one got kicked out.
And Kaido makes a comment about not imagining what it must be like, what it would have been like to have been left alone in a world like that. And he starts to think about Stacy's situation a little bit more.
Like it's that point of like they're both 100% coming to an understanding of each other.
Right. Uh, so I thought that I'd hoped rather that Stacy would have joined the team before the end and been like the seventh member, but at this point it's clear that they're building up for that to be like the final confrontation. They're
Or
Aruto versus Hirobi.
it's either that or him switching is going to kick off Gige's is part of Gige's plan, and that sets forth for Gige to be the final villain.
Maybe it'll be like the end of Kiva where like they're fighting each other, and then they kiss and make up, and then Gige launches his final plan and they fight against him.
Yeah, I can see that. I could see that. I can quite literally see that too.
Because it happened in Kiva.
Yeah. Yeah. But the show is fucking perfection. Like, as much as the show seems as off the wall as possible, this director knows exactly what he's doing. Unfortunately, there have been some slight complications, none of which are the director's fault. And I give credit because I'm gonna get into what I read. Um, so Gage has a new voice actor.
Oh, I didn't notice. Because he rarely talks.
Well, from episode 22 to 24, he was reduced to a non-speaking role. He didn't talk at all during those episodes.
Because they're switching voice actors?
Yes, because the original voice actor got into some shit. Suzuki Tachihashi, who is known for his roles as Magi Red in Kamen Rider Super Sentai Superhero Tyson, Usada Lettuce, Green Hippopotamus, was Geach from episodes 1 to 25. However, due to an ongoing scandal involving both Tatsuhashi and his wife, Lisa, he was let go and recast.
Oh.
And when I say Lisa, I mean, yes, Lisa as in the one who does all the anime openings. Because apparently he got busted cheating on her.
Japan hates adultery.
Oh yeah, and I guess he ended up in a magazine that where if you end up in either in the magazine or whatever, your career's done. There's no coming back from it. Earlier, and this was, it's not showing what, 2 months ago.
Well, I didn't even notice the voice changed because one, we're watching these week to week, and two,
right.
The character doesn't talk that much anyways.
Right. It got better. Hopefully, you know, he is all okay. But apparently, he attempted to commit suicide.
Oh.
Because she went on a hiatus, and you know, so did he. But shortly after their hiatus announcement, rumors started circulating on social media that he had attempted to commit suicide. And then they began to get scoops on the story with additional details. Early August, not long after the affair was exposed, he was rushed to the hospital and was hospitalized for 2 weeks, and at one point was put on a ventilator.
To be
fair, that could have also been COVID. Because it's just rumored. Because it's just rumored that he had attempted to commit suicide.
And they probably haven't disclosed anything, so.
Right.
Either way, that's rough, buddy.
Yeah. And now she's dealing with depression because she's, as her label put it, She is a extremely sensitive person. Um, the the infidelity made her depressed, but now having to deal with her husband's alleged attempted suicide has put her in a very tough position.
So that's a whole uncomfortable situation.
Yeah,
That's horrible. Well, here's
and
hoping.
they were only married for 2 months.
Here's hoping
Yeah,
he makes a recovery and they can work out their marital issues in a healthy
right.
way.
Yes, in a healthy way, even if that means we're done,
Yeah, like,
because sometimes that is the healthiest thing you can do. I've been through three of them. I'm aware.
so, uh, wishing the best for them. Uh, Thanks for joining us today, everybody. Thank you, King, for stopping by. We'll see you next time.
If you catch up, you can join us. And we will see everybody else next week, so long as neither one of us forgets we're supposed to do this.